Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our very first Blog Building 101 training. Hope you guys are having a great evening this evening. And we have a lot of information we're going to be covering. To kind of give you an idea, we're going to be talking about your branding. We've got a presentation. We're going to be going through branding. We're going to be going over how to find your niche. Then after the presentation, we're going to be going through setting up your blog. I'm going to go live and show you your blogs. And then after that, I'm going to get online and show you my blog to give you some perspective. After that, we're going to get on our Facebook group and we're going to be answering some questions. So we got that to go on. Before we get started, I really wanted to start out with a just kind of a story so you guys can get an idea of how all this works. All right, great. So anyway, I wanted to kind of give you a story that would help set a framework for it and let you understand a little more about how this whole blogging thing came to be. A couple of years ago, when Peggy and I, we really decided to want to build our home business and make it grow, we decided we were going to do some Google advertising, some pay-per-click advertising. And so it was the very first time we'd ever done any pay-per-click advertising. So first thing we did is we kind of created some ads, and we, like most people would do, we had a replicated company site. So we put that in the ad and we started to run the ad, and all of a sudden we discovered that we couldn't get our ad to show up. And the reason for that was the way Google works is they only show one ad for a particular company. And since every replicated site in our entire company has the same domain, I basically had to outbid not just the normal people, but I had to outbid every distributor in our entire company for ads to show. So when I was figuring out that I was going to be bidding $5 per click or more to get my ad to show, I was thinking this isn't going to make sense. But I told Peggy, I said, look, I'm a techie, we can figure this out. So what we did is I said, I know what we'll do. I'll create our own website, and then we'll advertise that website and have that website. Once people come there, we'll take them over to our company website and let them buy stuff. And so we created a website, and we got it all set up, and we had it linked into our company site, and it was all working good. We turned it on, and it ran for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden, Google shut us down. They turned our website off, they turned us off, turned our ads off, and we said, what's going on? They said, well, your site is what we call a bridge site. People come to your page, they land on it, but then really the only purpose of your page is to send them to another site. And really, that's a bridge page is against our advertising policies. And so I spent a couple of weeks working with the lady at Google trying to get them to approve the site. And really what they said your site has to add value. Your website has to do something for the users. We care a lot about the users that click on it. We don't want them to just click on the thing, because if they're just going to go to the other site, you're not adding value. And so finally what we ended up doing was writing an interactive product wizard. They liked that enough. And so once they saw the product wizard, they approved our site. And so then we started going down that path, and we started doing some advertising. And of course, our cost per click was a lot lower because we weren't competing with every other distributor in the company. And then, and so that started working pretty well. Our phone started ringing. We started getting some orders off our advertising, but we still found out some things that were happening. What was happening is that people would come to the site and they would look at it, they would click back off, and that was a concern. A bigger concern was just other distributors in our company were clicking on our ads. And so that was costing us money. And of course, they're not going to buy from us. And so even with another site, it got to be pretty expensive to do that process. And so Peggy said, wouldn't it be great if we could have some organic clicks and get some traffic organically so we wouldn't have to pay people to come to the site? And so I started doing some research on that process and said, well, let's take a look and see what we need to do to get some organic traffic. And of course, what we really needed to do, it was pretty simple. If you go and you Google, your company name and see what comes up on the front page, what you basically have to do is you've got to have a page that's better than theirs. And if theirs is better than theirs and Google likes it better, then they're going to put yours on top of that. And so just a few months ago, we decided, all right, we're going to say about getting organic traffic, but we're going to have to commit to creating a lot more content and a lot better content. So what we did is decided, instead of just having our first site only had like probably 3 or 4 articles and 3 or 4 pages, we launched a new site that had closer to 50 different articles, and it had a lot more pages, much more content. But also what we did is we really got much clearer on our niche. And we said, all right, let's just see what are the people who are wanting to attract to our site. What questions are they answering? And let's set our pages up so that they answer those questions. So if they were searching for a particular product, we would have a page that would have answers to that product. If they were looking for a particular information about, a distributor, we had information on that. So we created pages that were going to answer people's questions. And so what happened is it was a big surprise to us, because I told Peggy it would take 4 to 5 months probably before our site really started ranking well. But within a week of when we put our new blog up with our new content, all of a sudden we were starting to get organic traffic, and we were showing up on the front page of Google, even though, our company name is searched 80,000 times a month. We were coming up on the front page of many keywords that we'd written in our articles, because we had fresh, good, feature-rich, well-written content for search engines, which is things you're going to learn about. But also, it was another nice thing is not only do we get organic traffic, we also found that the pay-per-click traffic, so when people clicked on an ad, since we had pages on our website that were linking back to the ad that was relevant, then the users that paid for the ad, they would stay longer on our website, and they would be more likely to buy. And another benefit, Google rewards you for your pages. They measure how long people stay on your site. If you just bounce right off, Google says that site didn't add much value, they didn't answer a question. But when they come to a website and they scroll down and they read a lot and go to more pages, Google knows this site is a good site. And so what they do is they start raising your rankings on your website even organically, and also on your ads. They actually take your ads and give you a better rating. All stuff really beneficial, but it all related back to having a blog. And so now a couple other things to keep in mind. One of the first things, second thing that happened to us after Google shut us down is we were running ads for a while, and all of a sudden our company called and they told us that, hey, we got a complaint from another distributor in the company because your site's got this picture or this information on it. And so they actually made us modify the site and take it down, because again, the company is trying to protect their brand. You've got to make sure you follow all their particular rules and policies and stuff. And of course, no one's going to say anything unless someone calls up. And of course, who you think is going to call up and complain? Another distributor that's advertising. So one of the things you're going to need to decide as we're going through your blog is, first of all, do you want to brand it with your company or brand it just with yourself and about your niche? And we're going to go more into some training on that, but that's a real key point for you, because you're going to find that Peg and I, we have one of each. We have one blog that's completely branded for the company that we do company stuff with. We have another blog that has nothing to do with the company at all. It never mentions it. And of course, one of the nice things about that is both of them are designed to attract people. They're going after different niches. And for that reason, we have very different audiences and we do things differently. You're going to kind of get to see an example of that as we go through the training tonight. But anyway, the point is that we were impressed when we took and did the things we're going to teach you. When we created the blog with good content, targeted the blog towards our readers, not only did Google reward us, but our people started coming back and finding it as well. And you're going to have the same thing that's happen to you as you do it. So again, I just wanted to kind of give you a little framework, because what you're going to do can bring in traffic to you all from different people, from different places. It can bring in organic traffic. It'll bring in paid traffic. Everything's going to do better if you've got a blog and you've got a good homepage for your site. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop over and go through a slide deck, and I've got some really good training to do tonight. We're going to go through a slide deck, then we're going to go through some live slides, look at that, and then we're going to do it on the Facebook group. So thanks for you guys for joining us tonight. Hope you have a good time, and this will be recorded, and we hope you have a good time. If you do have questions, you can ask questions in the question bar, but I probably won't see it until I get to certain parts of the presentation for that reason. So you won't be able to see all that. And at the same time, we are going to do a lot of Q&A in the Facebook group after the call. So let's go ahead and take a look at our presentation deck. I'll pop over to that. All right, great. What we got now is this is a slide deck we're going to be going through, and it's really talking tonight about finding your niche and building your brand. And some of these things you've heard a little bit about, but we're going to go in a lot more detail tonight. So the first thing we're going to want to talk about as you're building your brand is that the number one asset in your business, it's you. It's not the products, it's not the company, It's you. That's really what's most important. And that's really what you're going to be branding is yourself. The profile, when people come to your web page, whether it's your web page on your blog, your profile on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, that's normally people's first impression. Because when you're doing attraction marketing and do the things we're going to talk about tonight, you're going to be going after people that you don't know, not just ones that you do know. Also, your profile really should be branded to you and not your company. And when you think about that, people are going to join the business and join you because of you and the things that you're able to add value to them. You know, there are going to be thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of people that work for your company that can offer them the same company products, but only you can offer them you and your specialties. And that's why we're going to talk about that. And that's really why we really want your profile and your website to be branding you, because that's also, you're going to find out that you need to be an expert in something. And we're going to talk about that. That's really when we get into your niche stuff, because if you want people to come to you for answers and be the go-to person, you're really going to need to be an expert. Now, as far as some tips on your profile, since we talked about your profile being your first impression, these are just some tips that will help you create a better profile on your Facebook page. You want to just have a smiling face. You don't need a professional photographer. Any good shot that you do that's have you smiling, that's going to represent well. And I guarantee you, if you got a picture of your pet on your profile, or if you got a picture of your kids, or something else, or a picture of Han Solo, change it to just a picture that you snap with your smartphone of you with a big smile, and you'll get more likes than you'll ever believe, because that's really what people want to see. You're also going to want to use the same profile and banner across all your social media channels. Now, later on in our blog building course, we're going to talk about social media a lot and using it to build traffic to your blog. And you're going to have some choices to make. Do you want to use Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or Pinterest or Instagram or YouTube? All these different social channels. And some of you will use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you want to have a consistent branding across all of them. You're also going to want your profile to drive people to your blog. Your blog or your website is going to be your homepage, and you want to make sure that everything that you do, every profile image does that. You're also going to want to go through and fill out your bio completely, because when someone clicks on it and decides to follow you, they're going to take a look at your picture, they're going to look at your post, but one of the first things they're going to do is click over and read your bio. And so you really want to use that to tell your story, tell a little about what your specialty is, your niche, why should they buy from you, a little about struggles you've had in the past. But if you'll tell your story completely in your bio, that's really going to help your profile. Another thing you want to do, if possible, is use your name as the handle. And what I mean by that is, on Facebook, you're going to have a Facebook name. Your page is going to have a name. On YouTube, you're going to have a channel. Your LinkedIn, every page has a handle. And it's going to be much better for that handle for mine to be Jim Fulford than it is going to be High Tech Redneck, because I'm really branding Jim Fulford. And so you're going to want to do the same, even if you got a common name. If you're Ben Smith, and then Ben Smith is going to be taken, well, you can do Ben period Smith, and you can do Ben with your middle initial Smith, or Ben and your middle name and Smith, or Ben underline Smith, or asterisk Ben Smith, or a lot of things you can do. But try to get a handle. And again, you're going to may have to vary them differently between the different things. But again, you're going to want people, as they're seeing your tweets and your posts and your updates, to see and associate your name. You're also going to want to be as consistent as possible with the look and the feel across the different things. Let me kind of give you an example of that. So if you look at these 3 images, what you're going to see is the top one is an image of my Facebook fan page, and it's got the jimpulford.com. So it's got the website I want people to go to in the profile picture. If you look on my website, same color, same images, same headshot. The bottom image is my email header, same type thing. So you're going to have consistent look and feel. In fact, I need to take the little tagline that's in my banner down there and move it up into my Facebook thing, because really it would be good to have the tagline of what my niche is and stuff right on my Facebook page as well. So you want to have a good look and feel and be consistent. So those are just a couple of tips with your profile. Now, we talked a little about this, but why do you need a niche? And of course, one of the main things about it is that you're reaching to do it is that when you market to everyone, you market to no one. And I want to repeat that. When you market to everyone, you're really marketing to no one. You're not going to get anybody. And what you want to do is, when most people start in the home business, especially, what they do is they go into their leader and they say, all right, who do I talk to? Who's my market? And of course, normally what they're going to do is tell you what everybody, right now, everyone, the entire world's in your market. We've got no boundaries here. You can do it. And so that's, really disadvantage. It might be good that they don't want you to sort of miss out on talking, thinking of someone. But at the same time, most people, they really are worried more about the message, and they focus on the message you're going to say instead of defining the market. Really what you want to do as far as an niche is really get clear on the market that you're going after, and you're going to find out that's going to be much easier for you to attract them, serve them, and everything. And also, you can't be an expert at everything. A jack of all trades for a master of nothing is not going to do well on social media, because you really have to be a specialty. Because what you're in competition with not just people inside your company, you're in competition with people outside your company. I mean, think about it. I mean, the wellness industry is a huge industry, and just because you're in a wellness company, not only do you have the thousands of people in your company sell the same products, you've got every other home business is based on wellness sharing products as well. So there's a lot of noise in the market. And plus, if you think about it, the people in the same company, they're going to use the same tools, they're going to use the same links, they're going to use the same messaging. The company's going to put out a picture, and everyone's going to share that same exact picture on every Facebook page. Well, people get used to those things, and they learn how to just ignore them. So what you're going to want to do is you're really going to want to create a niche and differentiate yourself. So if you, for example, instead thought about defining the market, who you're going to market to, and you had decided that you were really going to market to personal trainers at gyms. Well, think about it. If you've created a blog for personal trainers, and you have written articles about personal trainers and articles about how to increase the revenue, about compared how much income the personal trainers make in different states, what are the different exercises? How can they get more, keep more clients? If you constantly are providing that value, well, guess what? When you've created a following and then you make a recommendation on what nutritional personal trainers should choose, they're going to listen to you a lot more, because you're a specialist in their market and you know everything about it. That's all what being a niche is about, is really having that type of specialty. Now, because you think about it, your market, they're already looking for you. They've got a lot of problems, and they're really wanting to find you, but they cannot find you because there's so much noise. I mean, there are millions and millions of blogs and pages, and if you just look at your Facebook page, when you go to your Facebook page, I guarantee you, there's going to be 100 things scroll by you haven't seen. So they're constantly being bombarded with messages. And so if they sit down to Google and try to find you, or Facebook, unless you're very specialized, they're not going to be able to find you because there's so much noise. And so really what I want to do tonight is I want to challenge you to rise above the noise. Create a specialty and do some of the things so that whenever they do decide to look for you, they're going to be able to find you. And when they find you, they're going to like what they see, because of things that you're providing. Now, when we talk a little about how to find the right niche, I'm going to kind of spend a little more time on this tonight. Really, you do want to take a look at finding something that you really are passionate about, something that you love to do. And part of that reason is because if you like it, do it, you're going to be better at it. Another thing is, if you like to do it, you're already going to be spending time doing it. Part of what you're going to be doing on the internet is constantly researching and learning new things and sharing them with the people in your niche. And of course, if it's something that you're passionate about, you're going to be already driven and pulled towards taking and really learning more about those subjects. And of course, as you learn things about them, you will be able to share them. I'll give you an example of that a little later on in the presentation. But you really want to get something that you're passionate about. Now, another thing is you really want to have something that's also you've got some skills in. Because we mentioned you needed to be an expert. And, even if you love something, if you may love painting, but if you have no skills in it, it doesn't matter how much you love it, you're not going to be able to sell a lot of paintings. And so it's important for you to have some skills that overlap with your passions. Now, normally these things are going to come from your experience that you've had. Now, you don't have to be the expert at your skill now. You're going to hone those skills and improve them and get better and better at it. And of course, by educating yourself and sharing it, you're going to do it. And of course, the last thing is, what are people going to pay for? What's going to add value to the market? And really, your niche should be the intersection of those three circles. That should be your personal specialty, something you're passionate about, you're good at, and also people really want to pay you money for it. So here's some ways that you can think about really helping you find your niche. But of all these three, by far, passion is the most important. So really, with to find your niche, you really want to think about answering these questions, and you really do need to be a specialist. I mean, think about it. When you want to go in for brain surgery, you're really not going to want to go to your foot doctor. You want to go for the guy that knows about brain surgery. So here's the first question: is what is your unique selling proposition? These are called USPs, but really a unique selling proposition is why someone. What do you do differently than someone else? What value do you add? And this are, if you were a copier salesman and you were selling copiers, what you would do is you would be telling the person, hey, this is my copier and this is another copier. These are things that mine does that theirs doesn't do. It as this. That's your unique selling proposition. Well, you need that not just for your business, but you need it for yourself. Also, think about how you're going to stand out from the crowd. What's going to make you a differentiator in the crowd? And it may be life experiences of yours because of your story. It may be skills that you have. It may be your work ethic, lots of different things. Another question is, why would someone want to work with you instead of someone else? And this is critical, especially when you're wanting to talk to someone that's been in a home business before. Maybe they weren't successful, and you're talking to them. You need to let them know, hey, here's the things that I can provide that other people don't, and this is why you really want to work with me. So get good and clear on that. Also, what specialized skills do you have and you're going to hone these skills and improve them, but what skills do you have that's going to set you apart from the competition? So really, it's about being a specialist and really finding something that you can be really good at. Now, another thing is really we want to encourage you to download our niche building checklist on jimpulford.com. We have this 4-page checklist, and with the front 2 pages of the checklist, it's going to be a list of everything you're going to need to do from A to Z, going through as you build your brand. It's going to start with just coming up with your niche and taking you all the way through creating your blog and your marketing and the training, and all those things are all listed in the checklist. And that's really to give you kind of a 6-month plan of what you got. But then the next 2 pages, these are actually the pages that are going to ask you the questions and answers that you need to ask yourself about helping you find your niche. So this is a worksheet would encourage you to go through and do the homework. And again, over the next couple of days, as I talk to you individually, we're going to be talking a lot more about your niche. Now, this is something I want to share with you tonight, and we're going to be spending much more time on this because this subject is going to come throughout our presentation, really throughout not just the blog bootcamp, but really for the next several months. You're going to need to know this because this is the steps that you're going to have to go through to drive traffic, become an expert, create followers, those types of things. And it's a 4-step social media marketing blueprint. Now, the first step is to build your brand, and that's what we've been talking about. What's your brand? What are you going to build that? And your second step is going to be to find your prospects. So once you know what your niche is and your brand, you got to go out there and find the people in that niche, the ones that would buy from you or use your services or partner with you. The third thing you're going to need to do is create content, and so you want to do that. And then, of course, the fourth thing is to engage your prospects. Now, what you're going to find out, the one that most people fall down on is number 4, engaging your prospects. So even once they figure out their niche and they start going after them and creating content, you really have to make sure that you reach out and engage with them as well. And I'm going to give you a couple examples of that tonight, but we're going to be going over examples of engaging with your prospects pretty much every training that we do. So let me give you an example. This is a post that I did a couple of days ago, and it was a post about getting that branding checklist. And it was about blogging. And so someone named Ronnie Smith, he made a little comment. I'm going to slip my glasses on so I can read that. He made a little comment that said, hey, my friend, Robbie Parks, he might be interested in this. And so he tagged Robbie Parks. And when he tags him, this is cool because see, this is Ronnie Smith is not a friend of mine on Facebook, and neither is Robbie Parks. But he saw my post and he did a like, made a comment, and not only did he comment, but he also tagged one of his friends. Now, what's going to happen is Robbie would have saw that message that, hey, your friend tagged you in a post, and when he clicked it, he would have saw the branding checklist. Most people will leave it there. But really what you want to do is you want to engage your prospects. So the first thing I did is I wrote back to Ronnie and I said, Ronnie, thanks for letting us know. I'm glad it's great when we take care of our friends. So, I want to, every time you get a like or a comment, I mean, a guaranteed way to double your comments on your blog is reply to every comment. So you can do the same thing on your Facebook page. But then what did I do? I went over, and one of the great things about Facebook is you do not have to be a friend with someone to comment with them or send them a message. So I then went over to Robbie's, clicked on his name, and I wrote over to Robbie. I said, Ronnie mentioned, hey, Robbie, Ronnie mentioned that you may be interested in getting more business using a blog. I'll be glad to help. And now what I did before I did it is I clicked on Robbie's profile and I read a little bit about Robbie. And I found out that he had a leather goods shop in Kentucky. And so when at the same time, I said, I've got someone in my family that also has a leather business and they build harnesses for horses. What kind of stuff do you do in your leather shop? Now, he doesn't know me, but if I would have just said hi, that would have been it. But I asked him a question. He said, hey, we build holsters and belt straps. I said, well, that's cool. I bet you sell a lot to the police. And he said, well, not yet, but I hope to get that business though. And so then I went on and I said, well, here's some tips that you might help you sell them to you for police. And so again, this is not someone that I know. It's not a friend. It's not a contact. But I didn't send him a link. You don't ever want to send people links on these things because they're going to know you're just you want to add value and create a connection with this person. And so because this is the kind of person, he's going to then come out there and follow me and reach it because I've reached out and really tried to add value to his business. Now, let's talk about how do you find your prospects. And of course, you just saw an example of using a Facebook comment, but Facebook has a search. You can use that. You can use YouTube search to find comments. You can use your Twitter search to find people that are your prospects. Industries Leaders fan page. I'm going to show you an example of this in a moment. Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn. One other thing is all three of these services, not only do they have the pages, they've got communities and groups. And you can use these groups to find services and find people as well. Great place to find them. You're also going to have online forums. So no matter what your niche is about, if your niche is about, quilting, you go look for quilting forums. If your niche is about, stamps, look for stamp forums. So whatever your niche is about, look for those forums and go into those forums and communicate with people because you will find prospects there. So here's a couple of examples. This is a blog post that someone posted up 3 or 4 days ago, and she wrote, "I'm curious about what email responders works best with this Thrive Leads. I found one from MailChimp whose issues, but then I switched to Aweber. I've spent a whole day trying to get it set up using it, and it's got to be easier. Please help." Now, she was not writing this to me. She was writing this to the company that actually produces this Thrive Leads service. Well, but what I did is I came in and I said, hey, I just experienced this with MailChimp. Here's what I do. And I started a dialogue with her. And so over the next several questions, I gave her tips on what she could do to solve this particular problem. So there was probably 6 or 7 messages that went back and forth. And even the company tagged one of my messages and said, this is a great answer. You need to do this. But then later on, she was saying, I'm kind of, is there someone can get some help hooking this up? I said, Pamela, can you send me a quick email? I've got a potential solution that you may be interested in, and I don't see a way to private message someone here. So this is a forum a company's forum. There's no way to send messages to other people in this forum. There's no way to actually talk on this forum or private message people or send them emails. But I just told her, well, within 2 minutes, guess what? I got an email from Pamela, and she was saying, hey, tell me what, I need all the help you can get. And of course, I told her a little about what we could do. And so this was someone I didn't know, but I reached out to her on an online forum. Now, this is another example. This will get you thinking. This is Tony Robbins' page. I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, have been for many years. And so when you go to his fan page, there's going to be lots of people on his fan page, and it could be Tony Robbins, it could be Robert Kiyosaki, it could be, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, any of the people. And also, you're going to have these pages for people in your particular niche. So when you go to those pages, then this is a post that Tony Robbins did. And of course, he posted it, just a few hours ago. And he has 800 likes and 250 shares and 34 comments. Well, what you're going to do is all these people that are commenting on this post, well, guess what? If you've got someone that hangs out on Tony Robbins' forum and he's posting and he posts something positive, that's a nice person that you can talk to. And again, you can click on their name and you can send them a message, or you can reply right to that person. So I could actually click on this person's name and reply and say, hey, have you been to any of Tony Robbins' live events, or whatever I might do. And I could start a dialogue with him. I could send him a private message. And of course, if someone's a fan of Tony Robbins, we've got something in common. And of course, someone that's a Tony Robbins fan will probably be a good person that they have in your business. And so that's just a simple example and that you can do by reaching out and finding someone that's a prospect and targeting with them and engaging them. And of course, that really is not the main subject of the night's talk, but I wanted you to get an idea of how you're going to be able to drive traffic to your blog. Now, of course, the main thing we're going to do is create some content and create content with authority. And the best way to do this is to teach people. And of course, so that's the way to become an authority, because whoever is teaching, that's the expert. And the best way for you to teach is, of course, you got to learn it first. And so we're going to kind of give you a good example of this a little later on in the presentation as well. But this is something that when you need to do something, I want you to go out there and learn it. Teach other people, and blogging is going to be the very best way for you to do that. Now, of course, we're going to be talking a little more about what a blog is and why you need one. But again, I want to kind of go through this again. Your blog is going to be the hub of all your marketing that you do. So, when you post on Facebook, whether you're doing a tweet on Twitter, posting a video on YouTube, all of them have one thing in common. They're all going to point back to your blog. Your social media profile, your Facebook fan page, your personal page, all of them should point back to your blog, because that's the hub, and it's also the only one that you own and control. What you put on Facebook, they can actually take it off of Facebook if they want. They can, if you look and you scroll down on your Facebook, you'll notice that what you posted a couple of days ago, you got to scroll to get to. And here's something kind of interesting. I want you to go to, if you've ever posted and shared a link on Facebook, scroll back and take a look at the link. You're going to find out that after 4 or 5 days, that link is gone. Facebook actually removes the extra links from the site, whenever you post things over a period of time, and because they're not giving you link backs to your blog and stuff. So, but on your own blog, you control that, and whatever you put there is going to be there forever. It's also the place where you're going to generate leads, which is the whole purpose of your blog, is to connect with people that are going to be interested in your products or services. Also, Google, Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, every search engine out there is going to index in your blog. And they're not just going to hit your homepage. Every blog you put out there, every entry, every comment, every post, everything on the blog is going to be indexed. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning. Once we created a bunch of content for mine and Peggy's company blog, all of a sudden, we had dozens and dozens of different keywords people could search for on Google, and that would take them back to their blog. And of course, hopefully they would stay there and interact with us and contact us and buy it from us. Another thing, once you post on your blog, it never goes away. You'll find out that you'll be able to post things on your blog, and in 3 years, people will be searching for that same subject. They'll come to your same blog entry, and they will contact you and buy from you. You're not going to have that happen on Facebook. You're not going to have somebody open up a 3-year-old email and decide to buy from you, but your blog does that, and that's another big advantage of that. It's also going to be an asset that's going to increase in value, because every day that you use it and the ad, you're going to get more and more shares a day, and you're going to see that picking up momentum. And so it's going to take you, as you create it, it's going to take you 3 or 4 months before you really start generating a lot of leads, but it's going to snowball as you do it. So it's one of the things that you got to prime the pump and start, and then as you do it. Also, anyone can create and maintain a blog, which is really the reason you guys are in this boot camp. And we are going to really spend a good bit of time in the boot camp talking about creating great content. And really what makes great content is whatever the people in your niche are going to be interested in. You want something that's going to solve a problem, provide an answer, and educate. I mean, that's what, when we rewrote our company blog, Peggy and I, every page, we start off the page with what are all the most common answers, and we even asked the questions and put the answers right there on the page, because we knew if we could get people to look there and read the answers, they would start considering us experts and trusting us once they trust us. And again, you can dominate your niche if you out teach your competition, out blog them, put out more content, and doing it consistent. And you can get to define what consistent is for you. On our company blog, we try to put out a blog once every week. On my personal blog, I try to put out a thing every day. And it doesn't matter what the consistency is. It's going, as long as you're delivering what your particular niche needs. Now, let me give you a good example of that. I've been doing some blogs, and I discovered a service that I heard about called Rev.com. And what Rev.com does is you can take a video and you can send it to them, and they will type every word in it. And so, for example, I could actually take the video from this particular broadcast and send it to them, and they would type up every word that I've mentioned, even with my Southern accent and my Southern drawl. In fact, you can even pick on the thing that you've got a Southern accent, so they give it to people that are good with Southern accents. And you send it to them, and they give you a Word document back, and they do it for $1 per minute. Now, I use it, and I liked it. That could have been the end of it, because I could have just used it and liked it. But what I did is, this was something that I learned, so then I decided to teach. So I wrote up, I did some research, and I found out that Rev transcription review was a really good keyword. It was only searched about 200 times a month on Google. And I knew if I created an article with Rev transcription review in it, that about 200 people a month would be able to find this and come to my blog through searches. And so I wrote that, and I wrote using Rev for better blogging, and I wrote about the experience and how to use Rev, what it was like, and I actually kind of typed it up. Now, interesting, so I typed it up, and that was great. Well, I also decided today, I kind of just sent the thing off, and I did a tweet and sent the tweet over to @Rev on their Twitter account. And about a few minutes later, I got this note back. Hi, James. Wow, thank you so very much. We're happy to hear that you love our service and appreciate you taking time to review us and say such awesome things. I've passed this along to our entire company so they can all see it as well. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, Rev Support. Now, again, not only did it make the Rev Support's day when they actually got some good news versus someone calling them to complain, but again, they passed that to everyone in their company. And of course, what are they going to do? They're going to put it on their wall. They're going to share on their thing. And they're going to pay this is the way that things can really get out there, because you're putting your content in front of people. And all that did was not only just teaching what I learned, but also sharing it out there and sharing it with other people that have an interest in it. So every time that you write something and mention someone in your niche that is a leader, give them a call and send it to them. If it makes them look good, guess what? They're going to share it. And guess what? All of their followers are then going to have eyeballs on your site. So that's just an example. Now, what we want to do next is I want to pop over and do some live, taking a look at your blog and kind of showing you some blog training. But before I do that, I wanted to kind of go over a couple things. Your homework for this week is really going to be doing two things: determining your niche and getting your blog up and running. Now, all of you have had your blog delivered to you. Some of you have played with it, done some work on it. Some of you just looking at it. Doesn't matter what, but we want to get it running this week, and that's going to be your homework, and I'll be contacting you to help you do that. And then again, what we're going to be doing next week's training is next week on our Tuesday call, we're going to be going over content creation. We're going to be going over your lead magnet. We're going to be going over conversions, how to generate traffic. So we're going to have a really good training next Tuesday night on the subject. But also what we're going to be doing is on this Thursday night, in 2 days, we're going to do a Q&A call at the same time at 9 Eastern. This is going to be the phone number. And then these calls are really going to be where you can we're not going to be doing any presentation. This is where we're going to be just letting you ask your questions. I will I'll probably take you to a website so I can bring your blog up and we can all look at your blog, my blog, different things to get your question answered. But the purpose is over tomorrow and Thursday, I want to talk to each of you individually, make sure your blogging is getting started good. And then we're going to have a call Thursday to do some Q&A. So what I want to do now is I'm going to pop over on my Hangout and I'm going to pop over and share a blog and kind of take you through a few things on your blog. And let me do that. So let me share. I'm going to stop sharing. And let's share this website here. All right. So this is your blog. And this was how it looked when I delivered it to you. And it was just a very plain Jane blog. And what we want to do is I'm going to take you through and show you how to customize a few things on your blog very easy, because one of the first decisions you're going to make. Now, once you log into your blog, what you're going to do is you're going to see a menu item, and then you get this black bar on the top of your blog. That means you're logged in as an administrator and you have full access to do things on your blog. And of course, when you click on the thing on the left, it's going to give you a menu of all the things. Now you've got in training videos here that you can watch, and we will go through. You will learn all these as you use them. But what I wanted to talk to you tonight about is really talk to you about the themes, because normally until people get their theme picked out and their niche, you're going to get stuck. And even though you could create tons of content right now, and all your content's going to look great no matter what theme you have, this is something people get stuck on. So you see the Rise one now, and this is the one that I've got. highlighted for you. It's also the theme that I use on jimfulford.com. It's got some neat features. You can see the little share things stay up at the top, and it's got some nice things. Nice theme, but again, it's just one theme. What I want you to do is show you how easy it is to switch themes. All you need to do when you want to use a different theme is take a look at one. If you want to go to this Pressive theme, you can just hit the activate button. And when you do that, and now you go up and view the theme, now your blog looks different. It's got a different logo. Your menus look different. Your posts, your blocks look different. Your images have a different viewer. You got a little comment thing, a date thing, your hello world. Everything on your blog changes, and it's that easy to change the look and the feel. And what's cool about this is something, even though most people pick this and stick with it, you could pick a blog theme and you could switch your theme every month. Now, we don't want you to do that because we want you to create a brand that gets recognized. But it's very easy to come into your theme and in your appearance and pick any theme that you want. So if you want to say, that looks good, I want to try this magazine theme, just come in and activate that. And that's going to take you to the magazine theme. Now, WordPress only comes with about 3 built-in themes, but there's thousands of themes out there. And you'll notice that I've loaded up 10 themes of 2 different kinds in your back office. When you go to your themes folder, you're going to have 20 themes. And what I've done is I've loaded 10 free themes and I loaded 10 premium themes. And the free themes that are loaded were the ones that were the very best selling, the most often used. So the themes that are in here are used on hundreds and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of websites. And the reason we do that is because if they've been used on a lot of sites, they're popular and they're going to work well for you. And so these are any of the free themes you're going to pick, they're going to work very well for you. Also, I put in here 10 premium themes. And one of the nice things about these premium themes, the themes only cost $50 or $60, and it's a one-time cost. And when you have a premium theme, it comes with a lot of extra features. So, for example, I'm on this magazine theme right now, and I'm going to go back to the home page. And, of course, nice menus looks up. I'm going to pop over to this home page. And when you look here, see this page section, these short codes, stock heights, the columns. Well, all these little short codes and things, these progress bar indicators, these are all things that are features of some of the premium themes that this particular free theme doesn't have. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make 3 columns with this theme. You can, and you can we can make any theme do anything you want. But part of the things about using it is you want to be able to make things work as quickly as possible and as easily as possible. And that's what the premium theme's setting. So if you can see here on your site, you only have so many options on the left. But when I go back to appearance and themes, and let me go back to that, let's not do the Rise theme, we'll do Pressive. Let's do like the, let's do Virtue, Storied. It's got so many to pick from here. Let's try Lux. So I'm going to go to the Lux theme and activate that. Now, when I go to the Lux theme, you're going to look and you're going to see more choices over here. You've got opt-ins, you've got focus areas you didn't have before, opt-ins. We'll talk about those in another session. You got this whole session for Thrive themes, and you can come in and you can change the type of logo and the position and how do you want the style and how do you want your blog to look? Do you want the post to be at the bottom? How do you want your social media icons to be on it? How do you want your comments to work? Do you want to use Facebook comments? All these things are features of the premium themes. And so when I go back to that same home page that I visited a moment ago, now you've got a box, and this box is already connected into your email autoresponder. These are now showing up as columns. This is showing up as a testimonial. This is showing up as a progress bars. And so all those features, and of course, if I go back in any of those 10 premium themes in there, when you pick any of those particular themes, it's going to pop over and it's going to look just like that. So let me go back to the Rise theme, which is what I'm using on my site since I'm more familiar with that one. And you go over there. And so now when we go back to that home page, same thing. This looks different. The testimonial looks different. You know, the boxes look different, but still all of them are working. This one's got a nice little pop-up thing where you can click on the things. The progress bars are different. So even though the look and feel is different, all those features are selected. So again, I would encourage you, if you can afford the $50, to go ahead and get one of the premium themes, or go to like ThemeForest and spend $60 or $70 to get a theme. You're going to you're going to find things are much easier when you're editing your content, that kind of stuff. So, but definitely not a necessity. Now, what I want to do before we go over to Facebook is I want to pop over to my website, just to kind of give you, because on your website, when you're in it, you notice that when you go to the post, this was your post and you only had one post. You guys can go ahead and add new posts, and it's got one comment. When you go to your pages, there's only a couple of pages. And the only difference when you're media, you've only got one picture, so it's hard to get an idea of what your site's going to look like. My blog's only been in operation for a couple of months, but you're going to see the look and the feel is going to be the same, because this is the home page that I modified to put my blog post on it. My own branding on the sign-in and opt-ins. You know, I put the Facebook and the Twitter feeds here. I've got many options on your home page. You can opt into the mailing list here. You can opt in here. You can opt in here. Again, you want many places where people can opt into the mailing list, because generating a lead is the most important thing. Also, what you're going to notice is when you go in and you go into my blog, every blog post is already set up where it can be shared. A lot of the themes that are not premium themes will have to add this functionality, but this is going to be in here. And so, for example, this Get on the Front Page of Google article has been shared 14 times. And if I want to share it, all I've got to do is click on the Facebook button. It's going to pop up and let me share it on Facebook. It's all going to be formatted and stuff. So when I go into the back end of my particular theme, you're going to see I've got lots of posts as well, but not that many on the site. There's about 15 or so posts. In each of these posts, if I want to edit them, that transcription review that I talked about, I can click on edit, and that's going to take me to that particular blog post that I wrote. You can see here where I've got the edited. I've got images in it, images attached to it. I've got headlines. It's very easy to use and do the things you want. When you want to view it, you can just put view post, and just take you over and let you take a look and see what that post looks like. And so here is the article that they wrote. And of course, you know, it's got the video that I did about it. It's got my bio and the author. It's got ability people to follow me. It links to the other post. It lets people leave comments. They can leave Facebook comments or comments on the blog either way. And of course, it's got options to register for the webinar. It's got options to download your leads. Again, these are just things that you're going to be able to do on your website as well. You can have menus. If you want to have a store on your site to sell things, you can do that. If you want to pop ups to generate leads, you can do those type of things. One of the most important things you're going to do is spend some time, once you get your home page done, you want to spend time on your about or your contact page. After the home page, the about page is the second most used and visited and shared page on the site. And look at it, it's been shared 23 times. So it's been shared 20, but again, and this website normally should talk about the website and what the website's for, and it should really talk about, you know, your niche. It should talk about, you know, you. So give you those information. And again, the same type thing. You know, you're going to want to on that page. I've got a place here where they can subscribe to the newsletter. I've got a place here where they can subscribe to the leads and stuff. And so you want to have that many places on your about page as well. So that's just kind of give you an example of what your website is going to look like after a couple of days, you know, and a few weeks. It's going to get better and better. And it's a matter of just adding extra plugins. What these plugins are, these are where you can come in. And for example, the Thrive Leads is what generates leads. The Webinar Ignition, that's what's running this webinar that you're watching tonight. This WooCommerce, that's what runs the store. The Yoast SEO, that's what runs and makes it easy to tap. So all these controls, these are all pretty much that you can drop in. Some are free, some that you got to pay for. It depends on the features that you want, but you can do whatever you want on your website. Really, your imagination is what's it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop back over to my screen share. Stop my screen sharing. Pop back over into the Hangout room. And what I want to do now is I want to invite you guys to join us over in join us over in the Facebook group. So go to the Facebook group and join us there. When you pop into the Facebook group, I'm going to do some question and answer. I'm going to try to set up some times to discuss things with you guys for over the next few days, get us lined up. And but that's going to be a great place, not just to get questions answered with you, but also get me. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. I hope you enjoyed our very first blog training. We'll be doing this on this webinar next Tuesday at the same time, and Thursday we're going to have a Q&A. So thanks for joining us this evening, everyone, and I'll see you guys all over in